Hi everyone, this is Tuplex. Welcome back. I am going to run up to my oil facility because, as you can see, we've lost another one of our turrets and the biters are currently working their way through the wall up there. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to pick up some batteries off of this belt while I'm on my way, so that I can handcraft a few laser turrets. I'll just go ahead and make all 6 that I have enough batteries for. And we'll run up there, we'll kill those biters, and then I will replace the regular turrets that I had up there with some laser turrets. That way we don't have to worry about them running out of ammunition. And I think that's why... Wait a minute. Oh, it was at the mine, not at the oil. Okay, my mistake. Let's take the car over there. Hopefully I get there before they break through the wall. I would hate to lose anything. Okay, there we go. Okay, so we'll get the repair pack. Oh, all right, I'm standing in some goo there. All right, and let's repair my car as well. We'll pick that up. I've got a gate down there, but that's quicker. Okay, yeah, so this one is destroyed, and you can see that once you have something that's been destroyed, it'll leave a ghost of it, so that if I had this area covered with robots, then what would happen is when something was destroyed, if that item was available in a logistics chest somewhere, a construction bot would go and pick it up and replace it. Okay, and that's going to be a key part of our defenses. Once we wall in the entire base, we'll have the entire wall covered by a robot network, or maybe even multiple robot networks. And the construction bots will have repair packs. They'll have spare parts so that as things get damaged and or destroyed, they can go and either repair or replace. So when something is damaged, like those walls were, if the bots have access to repair packs, then they'll automatically go and repair them as well. So that's why, besides just automating the building of stuff, having construction robots when you're playing with biters is extremely useful. So I'll just put that light there in the center. There we go. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I will replace these with laser turrets. Now, just as a point of comparison, look at the range of the laser turret, which you can see with that big green circle. I know it might be kind of hard to see because it's dark. And let's compare that with the gun turret. All right, so that's got a range. The gun turret has a range of 18, and the laser turret has a range of 24. Okay, so that's going to help us out quite a bit, because that means we'll need fewer laser turrets to cover everything. All right, so actually, let's... I'm just going to pick up all these gun turrets. So let's put a laser turret, let's put one there and one there. And then I'll put one about here. And then we'll put another one right here. Yeah, let's put one there. Okay, and then that should cover all 4 corners. If you go to the map view, you can click on this turret coverage button, and that'll turn on the turret coverage overlay so you can see how your defenses are. Let me pick this one up too, just to make sure. Okay, so we can see there that we got the whole thing covered. This corner is a little weak, so let's move this one. Let's move that one over a couple tiles. to make sure we get that corner covered. Yeah, I'll move that over a couple tiles, and then I'll move these two over a couple tiles too. And I'm being a little stingy with my turrets right now just because we don't have too many of them. Also, they do consume quite a lot of power. And we're still on steam power, so I don't want to get too crazy with the laser turrets yet. Later on I do want to get crazy, but not right now. Okay. So now we got these 4 turrets powered up. So let's look at power consumption. If we look on the information there, you'll see the first one says energy consumption 1.2 megawatts. Now that's when it's firing. It uses 1.2 megawatts, which is quite a lot for one turret. You know, since we're currently only capable of making about, what is it, close to 36, no, about 72 megawatts is, I think, our maximum capacity right now. So 4 of these, if all 4 of these are firing at the same time, that's going to be using almost 5 megawatts, and that's only with 4 turrets. Eventually we're going to have probably at least 100 of these things all over the base. So we have to be careful with power. And then you'll see there's another tooltip there that says drain, which is 24 kilowatts. And that's the amount of power that they consume when they're not firing. Okay, and we can see that here on our statistics if you click on a power pole. So we can see that those 4 laser turrets consume 96 kilowatts even when they're not firing. Okay. So, so when you start deploying laser turrets in large quantities, your power requirements are going to start to scale up pretty rapidly. So that's just something that you have to be aware of, and not let it exceed your power production. Because, you know, the nice thing about laser turrets is they don't need ammunition. But then the drawback is that if you run out of power, you have no defense whatsoever. So it's a bit of a mixed blessing. So once you start replacing all your gun turrets with laser turrets, you essentially need to make sure that you've got a lot more power than you need all the time. Because if you get a large attack, well, speaking of large attacks, holy moly. Okay, I think I better head back up there. I'm going to take the train because it's faster, but I think they might break through. Oh, man. All right. I'm going to need to take out that biter nest over there. Okay. And they destroyed 2 of my turrets, which is bad news. Those things are kind of expensive to make. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. Oh, I don't have enough. Crud. All right, I was going to say that I was going to place 2 turrets instead of 1. You know, with the turrets, or with the biter attacks, your goal is to just destroy them, or to kill them before they can do too much damage, you know. And the walls, you know, the purpose of the walls are basically just to slow them down enough that you can shoot them before they overwhelm your turrets. If you try to play a purely defensive game, you know, by having huge walls and you know, and slowly killing them as they fight against the walls, that's a losing battle. You'll just end up constantly be making repairs to the walls. Even if you're using bots, if you have a lot of biters attacking, your bots will go over to try to repair the walls while the attack is underway, and the biters will destroy your bots. So in this case, your best defense is a good offense, as they say. So I'm going to supplement this with some gun turrets there, and hopefully that'll prevent another attack like that from taking place. And I will, I'll go out and remove these biter nests between episodes. I don't want to do that right now. You've already seen me do that, and it's not terribly interesting to watch over and over again. Okay, so hopefully that'll be enough to hold them back for the time being. Let's see if we found that oil well. Yes, we have. Okay, so we know, you may remember we placed that radar station here so that we could find that oil patch that we knew that was out there, but not exactly where, and it's right here. One nice thing you can do on the map is if you right-click it, you can tag any location on the map, right? So here we can tag it. Right, and then you'll see that on your map when you zoom in. So that's a nice way to keep track of things. Another thing you can do, what a lot of players do, is they'll even label their base. So for example, this is my green circuit production, so I could put a green circuit icon here, right? I could put like a laboratory over here. And that's just kind of a nice way to set up your map so that you can easily see where your various production is. Now I find that for a starter base, it's not that useful because I have no problem remembering where everything is. But if you start to make a large base where you're producing different components and in various rail outposts and stuff, then it becomes helpful, I think, to label things with this tool. So you can do it either with just the icon or with an icon and text. In fact, I think you can even do, can you do text? Yeah, you can even do text and no icon, right? And then it'll just put a little dot. And if you want to remove it, you just right click it, hit delete, and it'll disappear. So I really like that. Okay. All right, so let's go back to the main base via the iron train. I suppose we should start getting some more research done. Let's upgrade our laser turrets first of all. Okay, so I can do, wow. I can do the first 4 levels of laser turret damage. All right, and if I shift left click these, it'll automatically go up on the queue. Yeah, so for now, let's just go ahead and let's max out our damage as much as we can on those laser turrets. That'll help a lot. And then we can also do turret speed. And we can do, yeah, we can do 4 levels of that as well. All right, so that'll keep the labs busy for a while. I don't feel like there's any tech that I really need to unlock right now, so I don't mind spending a little bit of time just upgrading our damage. Okay, so fairly soon I'm gonna want to go and upgrade our defenses and build the wall around the entire base that I discussed earlier. But before I do that, I want to start mass producing things like laser turrets, and power poles and stuff like that. I'm going to check here my battery production. Okay, these are all working as fast as I can right now. I have a full tank of acid, so I think I'm going to add more machines making those batteries so I can get them more quickly to make lots of laser turrets. Okay, so I'm going to add 4 more machines and double our battery production here. There we go. So I'm just going to extend this. There we go, and then I'll need to rearrange my outputs here a little bit. So now I'm going to have 4 machines on one side. Oops. And 4 machines on the other. There. Okay, so that'll give me more batteries. That's interesting. Wonder why I did that. Okay, so let's start mass producing supplies. And the way that we do that is by building something that many players will call a shopping mall. Some people will call it a make everything area. In the past, I've called it like I've called it like a supplies factory. You can call it whatever you want. But essentially what it is it's an area where you're making all the different things that you need to build the base itself. So belts, inserters, pipes, all that sort of stuff we will be constructing automatically in this so-called mall. Okay, so I've got lots of belts. Let's grab some more belts. And let's grab... well, before I do this manually, there is one bit of research that I want to do first. Let's research character logistics slots 1. Can I move this in the queue? Man, that is a bummer. I wish I could override stuff in the queue. All right, so I'm going to research character logistic slots, character logistic trash slots first. And then I'll go back to my weapon damage upgrades. I'll go ahead and finish. No, let's not even finish level 2. Let's get those things done first. By the way, if you cancel a research before it's done, you don't lose the progress that you've made. It'll pick up where you left off. So you can cancel any research that's in progress and you can come back to it later and it will continue at the same point. You don't have to repeat the research that you've already done. Okay, so I'll just do the first 2 levels of character logistic slots and character logistic trash slots. Those are very valuable, and I'll show you that here shortly. And then I'm going to put a couple rows of storage chests next to this RoboPort here. And what we're going to start to do is we're going to start to use the bot network to have the logistic bots bring us items that we use frequently, such as belts, inserters, and stuff. Wow, big attack. Okay, well that was better. All right, good. And the gun turret got damaged, and not the laser turret. Yeah, I'm gonna have to take those biter bases out. Okay, so that's done. So now when I press E, now I've got this bar called logistics. Okay, and here I can put in certain items that I want to be delivered to me automatically. So for example, transport belts. So what you do is you select the item you want, and then you select the minimum quantity that you want to have with you at all times. So right now I've got 359. Let's make that 400. Whoops. 400. Okay, now as soon as I do that, here they're coming slowly. As soon as I do that, some logistics bots are going to come over here. They're going to grab belts from the chest, and they're going to deliver as many as I need to have at least 400 on me. Okay, here they come. They're grabbing the belts, and they give me the belts. Wonderful. And then when I put some more belts down, now I have less than 400. They're going to go and grab some more and bring me some more, right? So now you don't have to run around to these chests and pick stuff up all the time. And if I happen to have more, that's okay. I can have more than that, but they'll bring me at least that many. All right, so this is usually one of the first things that I set up is some minimum quantities of splitters and belts and things. I'll also do inserters. Right, these are the 3 types that I use the most. So this is a good place to start. And then with that second bit of research, I've also got these trash slots. And what this is used for is this is for when you have stuff that you don't want to have in your inventory anymore. So let's take this wooden chest. I can throw it in my trash slot. And then a logistic bot will come and grab it, and it will place it in a storage chest. Okay, so now I have a convenient way to get rid of stuff. This stone, for example. And then there's a shortcut. If I control left click it, it'll automatically go in my trash slot. Right? So this is a way you can clean up your inventory. You can get rid of stuff without having to go and manually place it in a chest. The logistics bots will take care of it for you. Right? And that's very helpful. Okay. Speaking of that, let's get rid of this extra plastic that I'm carrying. Just give that to the red circuit guys. Okay, so let's start making a mall. And I think I want to build it down here. I'm going to grab some stone brick so that I can extend my path. And I'll just steal some from the belt here. Where is it? There we go. Okay, plus plus to make it bigger. And we'll put them all down here. Okay. So there's a fairly common design, which is, or I would say it's commonly accepted to be best practice for these type of things. And I'm going to show you my version of it. All right. What I'm doing here is I'm putting down like a row of these machines because I want 4 machines set up with 3 tiles in between each. And each one of these assembly machines takes up 3 tiles. So it's easy just to plop down 3 of them, or plop down a row of them and then remove the ones in the middle. Okay. And these are all going to be making gears. This is commonly the first part of any mold design. And I'm actually going to set up another row of those right there. Okay, and I'm just using copy paste there. Okay, and the reason we do that is because most of the common things that we want to build, such as belts, inserters, right? Many of these things require gears. So the first part of the mall is essentially a gear factory. Okay. And then we'll place some undergrounds like so. Okay. And so, and then on each side of the mall, we're going to start by placing a belt of iron plates, 1 on each side. Okay, so let's get that fed in there. All right, we need to remove some trees. Actually, are we within bot range? Yes, we are. Okay, so let's take our deconstruction planner. And I'm going to select all these trees that are within range. And that will dispatch construction bots to remove all the trees and rocks, and they'll put the wood in storage chests. Okay, so then we can do more interesting work while they're doing that. And we don't have to use grenades anymore if we don't want to. Grenades are pretty fun, so. All right, and then we'll need to extend our bus down there as well. All right, I'm just going to have to handcraft more of these things. Whoops. All right, so So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to bring one belt. That's where I need the first one. I'm going to bring one belt way down here. And then I'll use the bots to bring me some more. So I'm just going to copy paste. All right, and I'm just going to drag that all the way down. And we'll let the bots put the rest of those belts for me. Okay, so you can see how the bots really speed things up for you. Okay, we're going to need copper. We're going to need circuits of both types for the mall. Let me remove that. We are going to need steel for sure. Okay, so that's enough to get started. And we'll let the bots start taking care of that for us. And in the meantime, we'll get at least the first belt of iron brought down here so that we can get our mall started up. Okay, and then what I'm going to do here is I'm going to bring iron in from the sides like that. Okay, and then each of these is going to get an inserter in and an inserter out so that we fill these 3 belts with gears, just like that. Okay, and then I'll copy that down here. And by the way, I think I mentioned it before, but if you hover over an item and press Q, you'll automatically pick up that same item from your inventory. I think I mentioned that already. If I didn't, then please accept my apologies. Okay, so it looks like if I put a power pole there, and one there, and then let's put one there, that should cover all that machinery. And I'm cheap, so I'll use wooden poles where I can. Okay. Right, so now our gear factory is up and running. Let's get some more iron down here. That one. Ah, look. I'm just going to copy that whole thing. That way I know where it goes. Just like that. And if I had that stuff in inventory, the bots would even put it there for me. But I don't yet, so I'm just using that as a guideline to place it manually. Now you will notice that the bots, I'm sure the bots have some way to prioritize what gets placed first, but I don't know what it is. I don't know what their system is. So if there's definitely one thing that you want put down before some other stuff, your best bet is usually just to start with only that being ghosted and wait for the bots to finish that section that you're most interested in, and then gradually add the other things. Right? Because if you paste down a whole bunch of stuff, the bots will, I mean, it seems almost random the way that they put things down, but it'll get done. It just might not be exactly when you want it. Okay, so now we are going to place more machines. Okay, and the whole mall is essentially going to be set up the same way with a row of 4 machines with a series of belts going down each side. Right now we have iron, but we're also going to have copper, steel, circuits, and so on. And then we just use this to make all the stuff that we want. Okay, we'll bring down power poles. We'll need to place lights as well. Let me check how I'm doing on time. Okay, it's almost been 30 minutes. So I'll spend a little bit more time here just to get at least some of the first bits of it done. Okay, and I'll place lights wherever they'll fit. Okay, so let's start with belts. Okay, so I'm going to want to do yellow belts, underground belts, and splitters. Okay, now if we look at the recipes for the belts, we just need gears and plates. Okay, I've got that already. Now the underground belts also require the yellow belts, and the splitters also require yellow belts. So there's 3 items. And in this case, it would make sense to put the yellow belts in the center so they can feed both sides. Okay, so I'll put a yellow belt there. I'm going to put the splitter here because I'm going to have a second line carrying circuits right there. And then over here, I'll put the underground belts. Okay. And then we'll need to get some iron brought in on both sides. And let's get some circuits brought down. Now for circuits, I'm going to want to do another combined belt of red and green, like I did here. All right, so I'm going to copy that design. I want that to come out right next to this first one. Okay, so I'll just remove these belts manually. I'll place that down there. And then I don't have to try to figure out how to build this again. I can just do that. There. Oops. Okay. So for this one, I'm actually going to place 3 inserters, one on the plates and one on each of these things making the gears, just because I want to try to pull from these gear belts as evenly as possible. Okay. This one needs plates, transport belts, and circuits. And that means that I'm going to have to move that power pole so I can place an inserter there to pass the belts. And we'll have to move that one as well to send belts over to that side. And then on these sides, I'm going to go into passive provider chests. Yeah, really what I want is a buffer chest, but that's not available yet. We need to have yellow science packs before we can unlock it. So for now, and I'll explain why later on, but for now, we'll use passive providers. Okay. And I'm going to limit the output using the logistic network. So I'm going to tell this to make splitters until we have 100. And then I'm going to shift left click and then right click. Okay, so for the belts, I normally want to pick up 400, right? I want 400 in my inventory, so I'm going to have a buffer 400. And then the undergrounds will do 100 as well. Okay, and then we'll need to extend the power, of course. Let's make a few more of those. Okay, so this needs plates, and then this one also needs green circuits. Okay, now you notice that this one is not putting anything in the chest. And the reason for that is because I told it only to run when there is less than 400 belts in the logistic network. And if we hover over the chest, or if we press L, we can see that I have 1,000 belts already in the network. And those are over here, right? So, but I want to move those down there. Okay, and now the bots are starting to deliver to me the splitters and underground belts that I wanted. I'm actually going to change this to 100. I think 50, yeah, let's do 100 of each. Okay, and the bots will chase you. And it's tempting to sit and wait for the bots to get to you so they don't have to chase you all over the place. But I can tell you that if you decide to wait for the bots, you'll probably spend quite a lot of time waiting around, and that's not fun. All right, so I'm going to stop buffering into here. And instead, I'm going to pick up all those belts. See, and I've even got some in storage over there. And I'm going to put those, I'll put them down here. Okay, and that's the reason why in your mall it's a good idea to limit your production using the inserters connected to the logistic network rather than limiting it based on the size of the chest. Okay, so now that's... Thanks, Cooper. So now that's connected to the logistic network. Now, again, it can see those 1,000 belts, and it stopped. All right, and most of them are in this chest. Now, there's a priority in place on these chests. So when you call for more belts, for example, they should be pulled first from a storage chest, which is, yeah, up here. So we can see I've got 55 in a storage chest. The bot should get it from the storage chest before it takes it from a passive provider. All right, so let's test that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put all my belts in a chest. Okay, no, I was wrong. Maybe it's getting the passive provider first. Okay, I need to double check on those priorities. I think I have it wrong. I think those should be in the Factorio cheat sheet. I'm taking a look at it right now. There's a lot of data here. Let's see, ratios, combat. There's got to be something here for bots. Okay, maybe it's not in there. I'll double check on the chest priorities and give you an accurate answer next time. But eventually we'll have 5 different types of chests, and the bots have a priority system for which ones they use when. And I clearly don't remember it correctly, but okay, so we've got those. Let's do our inserters next. Now the 3 inserters I want to start with are the yellows, the blues, and the reds. Okay, now the blues and the reds each take a yellow, so it would make sense for us to have the yellow in the center of a row of 3, right? And we're also going to want to make stack inserters, and those are based on the blues. So we're going to want to have an arrangement where we have yellow between red and blue, and then stack inserter next to the blue. And I want to make them on this side because that's where my circuits are. Okay, but first I'm going to save room for red belts and blue belts. Okay, and we'll do the inserters way down here. So let's set the inserters up, and then I think we'll call it a day. And the reason I set the red belts and blue belts up here is that when you look at the recipe for red belt, its ingredient is a yellow belt. The red underground takes yellow undergrounds as an ingredient, and the red splitters take yellow splitters as an ingredient, right? So we're going to set them up like this, and that way we can pull from these output chests. Yeah, forgot one of my ingredients there. Okay, and then we'll do the same with blue belts when we have those unlocked. I don't have those yet, of course. Okay, so let's do yellow. Let's do that one blue. So we'll do stack inserters right there. Yellow inserter, blue inserter, red inserter, stack inserter. Now we also have stuff like filter inserters, stack filter inserters. I usually don't automate those, however, because I don't use them that often. So if I have a need for a filter inserter or a filter stack inserter, I'll usually just handcraft it. All right, so let's extend our gears. Come on, guys. Oh, you know what? See where that orange box is? If I walk outside of that orange area, then the logistics bots won't bring me anything. Okay, so I'm going to need to grab some red circuits here. See if I can do that. There we go. Let me make another RoboPort so we can extend our robot coverage. Okay, and then, yeah, I'll just bring these down. I need more of those as well. We'll automate the production of these power poles sometime soon. Okay. We can do more turret shooting speed. 3 and 4. Let's do those. We can get more logistic slots. So let's get another row of logistic slots. And trash slots. Let's research personal batteries. Energy shield. Discharge defense I usually don't use. And then we'll throw, let's do inserter capacity bonus. Right, so the order of the research is not that important right now. As you can see, I'm essentially just filling up my queue and letting it run. Okay, if I got that RoboPort, yeah. Okay, so this, maybe I can put it, no, there's not enough space. All right, well for now, I'll put another RoboPort down here. Okay, so that it expands my coverage, and then I'll have to have RoboPorts on the other side of this as well, so it's all covered. Okay, so iron and gears, iron plates and gears, iron plates. This one doesn't take iron plates, so let's run a belt of iron plates across right there, and we'll do another one here. Whoops. Okay, and then this one needs gears and green circuits. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have the green circuits come across this way. That one does not need green circuits. This one does, and this one needs green and red. All right, so this is a good place to have the circuits come through. And then I'm going to use undergrounds to get across there, and then we'll use another one there. All right, so let's grab our gears, grab our circuits, and our output. Okay, and I'm going to limit this to 100. And it's going to stop for reasons we're already well aware of, because I've got a chest of inserters way up here, which I'm going to empty out. And I'll just throw them in the chest down there. Okay, so now all that production is dedicated to science packs and the stuff that we're going to use ourselves. I need more copper, by the way. Ugh, that's ugly. So I think we're going to need to set up a copper mine very soon. Okay, and I'll take some of these extra ones and I'm just going to control left click into these machines to get rid of some of them. And then I'll control right click to put half of what I've got in here. That'll stop the production of those. Okay, and then we'll do that to get those passed across. All right. So I'm going to copy. That's going to feed into there. Yeah, and then that'll feed into there. Let's throw in some lights. And I'll copy that as well. All right, so let's change that to blue. We'll change that to reds. And we'll change this to stack inserters. And I think 100 of all of these is pretty reasonable. No, that doesn't need gears. What are we missing? Oh, circuits. Right. And that needs red circuits. Oh, and green circuits. And it also needs gears. Okay, and then the bots will slowly start feeding those to me. When I get another row, I can include stack inserters. I'll put that filter inserter in trash, get rid of that. I'm going to get rid of this wood. Now let's say I never want wood in my inventory. That's a pretty safe assumption. There is... Maybe I'm missing a research. Let's research trash. Ah, okay. We need auto character logistic trash slots. We'll have to add that to my queue after we get this second level done. Eventually we'll get another tab here where we can tell it certain items that we always want to go to trash automatically. So stuff like wood and, you know, coal, pieces of stone that we pick up, it'll automatically go to the trash slots when you set that up, but we don't have access to it yet. Okay, so now we're making inserters. We're making yellow belts. All that's automatic, and they are being delivered to us automatically by the logistic bots. All right, so we've come a long way. And we'll continue to build this up in the next episode to make some of the other stuff that we need, including the aforementioned laser turrets. We'll also want to, you know, make rail for the trains, signals, things like that. Okay, so we'll put together I'm not gonna make this huge where we make absolutely everything, but I'll set this up at least to make most of the common stuff that we use on a regular basis, so that we don't have to handcraft so much. All right, well, that'll do it for today. If you have any questions, let me know, and I'll see you next time. Have a good day. Bye-bye.